welcome back to Meet the Masons. Thank you guys for joining us again.
Woohoo!
So today is special because we are doing a new series.
Yes, we are.
Yes, so if you guys already look at the title, then you already see that our new series is Refresh Your Marriage.
That's right.
So we're pretty excited about this. First of all, September is our birthday month.
Yes, it is. And she is 8 days after me. So what she's trying to do is match everything I do for the whole month, which is why she's wearing these same colors. I ironed our clothes.
I picked mine out, and then he picked his out, and then I ironed it.
I ironed our clothes, and she like, oh, can you iron this for me?
No.
I'm like, oh, you want to match me?
Anyway, guys.
I know what it is.
So this month is special, and we have a lot of special things in store. So make sure you stay tuned, subscribe, and let's see what we're about to talk about today.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So today we're going to talk about how to overcome personality differences within your relationship.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
So yeah, I think it's fun because I feel like people don't really talk about this.
Right.
You know, like the little nuances. Because obviously you're with your spouse or you're with your partner because you like them. You know, you enjoy them.
Yeah.
But
now, fun fact.
Yes.
Did you know that more than 60% of current marriages are still arranged marriages?
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. And they thrive too. That's another thing.
They actually have a higher success rate. But
yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe because there's a lot of theories behind it, but it's cool. It's
like
God arranged our marriage.
Yeah, he did. But I'm just saying, if somebody said, hey, look, this is who you're gonna marry when you're 30, it's like
Were you talking about me?
No, I'm just talking about like anybody.
So
you're not 30 yet.
No, I'll be 30 this month, guys. Nonetheless, okay, so for real, this is a huge topic because especially if you're married, you know your spouse on another level now.
Yeah.
And now you picked up on, you know, things that they do constantly that get on your nerves, or that you're just like, why are you like this? You know, so it's really cool. We'll talk a little bit about our personalities first. So this video was sparked because we asked a question on social media, and someone asked us, how do you deal with, you know, one person being an introvert and one person being an extrovert? Right. So I mean, I'm sure you can guess who's the introvert and extrovert, right?
Let them guess.
What do you guys think? Nonetheless, I am the introvert and Jared is the extrovert. So people get this confused a lot because they think that introvert and extrovert means like, you know, quiet versus loud. But that's not necessarily the case. What it means is that an introverted person gets more of their energy and they feel refreshed and revitalized when they are secluded or by themselves, you know, having space alone. And the extroverts get their energy
when they're around people.
Yes, it's like they come alive.
Yeah.
And that's
so when you're around, I'm alive. And when you're not, I'm waiting for you to come back.
Right. So people think like when people come over our house, which we don't have a lot of people come over, but Jared is on like 18,000. And they look at me like, how do you deal with that? And I'm like, I don't, because he's not like that. Because he's funny. An extrovert.
It's just like, as soon as people come over, it's like, what? What is going on?
And meanwhile, I'm just like, all right, what time? Oh, they've been here for 30 minutes. Wow.
Yeah, look at Jared go. Now that's not with everybody, because there are relationships that literally recharge you. But it is funny, a funny dynamic as you mentioned, that the typical idea is, okay, extroverted, obviously they talk, they're sociable, this and that. But one thing that I learned is just because you're extroverted, or just because I'm extroverted, a lot of people assume that everything I do or everything I have is on my sleeve. Now, much of it is, but there are some sensitive areas for all or any introverts or extroverts that are like me, where it's like, hey, if something actually bothers you or hurts your feelings, you're not going to wear that on your sleeve if it's really sensitive. If it's just somebody being rude or coming at you or whatever, yeah, you might let them know. But when it's not in that realm, you can literally keep some stuff introspectively. And it's like, oh, you know what? That's more sacred, or that's something I don't really want to talk about. And nobody would ever know. Right. So that's kind of one dynamics.
Yeah, it's a good point, because it doesn't necessarily dictate how you are and how you communicate.
Right.
So for Jared, like, he definitely processes his emotions far differently than I do. I'm very expressive in how I express my emotions. You will know how I feel, and I will tell you, because I live as an introvert. You just live in your head, and you're very aware of your emotions, and you also don't really mind communicating it. And it could just be a personality thing versus introvert versus extrovert. But at the same time, even though I am an introvert, if you get me in front of the right people, the people I love, you can't get me to stop talking. So you know,
I think that's funny, because people think I talk more than she does. She talks 3 times as much as I do. For real. Now, I'm a talker. I'm an extrovert.
And he'll talk to any and everybody.
Or any and everything. Like, I talk to my wallet, increase. I talk to my customers, you know what I'm saying? Like, I talk to the furniture. Y'all better stay clean. I can
do it. And I can do it. And I love people. That's the thing. But that drains me. So I feel like I need to go away. I need to journal. I need to be quiet so that I can build myself up to have more interaction. And Jared is like, no, this is my prime time.
Right.
Like,
you know,
when
it's prime time, it's a wrap. But it's funny because it's like there's certain things that we jump straight into, or I jump straight into. But when it comes to other things, I could still be outwardly expressive and involved and engaged and paying attention. Like, don't miss a beat. Everything you say, everything that's going on, I'm in tune. But in the middle of that same exact moment, I'm literally physically and emotionally dealing with something, or spiritually dealing with something else that you have no clue based on how my face is. So
that's pretty interesting.
It's like a two-sided thing. So yes, I'm extroverted, but I'm introspective. And she's introverted. She's introspective as well, but she's very expressive. So it's like, you gotta see which 2 of those are your spouse. Are they, you saw that little? Yeah. Which 2 are they? Is your spouse extroverted and introspective? Are they extroverted and expressive? So it's a twofold situation.
People are dynamic, so we don't ever fit a box completely. Right. But just know that, you know, one label doesn't necessarily mean that's the totality of who they are. Right. So now we're going to get to 3 different ways you can overcome personality differences within your relationship. All right, guys. So number 1 is accept your partner. And I know it sounds silly, but a lot of people go into marriage and into relationships thinking that they can change their spouse. And I would say, if you're not married right now and you don't really you're unsure about their personality and unsure if this is a person that you want to deal with for the long run, I really would suggest you evaluate your relationship, because at the end of the day, even though we have differences, I love Jared. This is the person that I want to be around 24/7. We do get on each other's nerves, absolutely, but there's no one more that I want to spend more time with than Jared. You know, and even though we have differences, I have the grace and I desire to deal with them. They don't bother me. But if you realize there's like one thing and it just irks your soul to the point where it's like, man, I don't know if I can deal with this, I would say evaluate it. But nonetheless, I would say accept your spouse. This is who they are. Jared is extroverted. He likes to be around people. I'm not gonna hold him back from being that, and that'll kind of segue into number 2. But because I know who he is, I accept that, and we're different, and it's okay. Right.
And one thing about accepting your spouse, also recognize that if you are married, you got what you got, from the standpoint of, hey, you have grace to continue, and you all can work out the kinks. And it's literally workable, because you got there from a certain mindset, a certain process, a certain passion to pursue them. Keep that up or revitalize that, and we can help you with that. Or you can also buy our book, 101 Date Night Ideas on why you should keep dating your spouse. But other than that, don't try to jump in on my dating your spouse. But one thing I was going to say with that is, if you're not married yet, how your spouse, or actually not your spouse, but how the person you're engaged with or dating or hanging out with, whatever case may be, they are on their best behavior. So what you're getting, like what you're getting and you don't like, is them being like, all right, let me keep all this in a jar and bottle it. Like, this is the best. Like, all right, I'm in court. And I'm under, the judge is watching it, and I'm gonna say what I'm supposed to say. So when they take that lid off, it's a wrap.
Marriage only magnifies who you really are.
Yes.
And so if you're not ready for that, then I would say evaluate your relationship once again. But if you are married, then enjoy, accept them, love on them. That's who you chose.
Number 2, allow your spouse space to be who they are. And what we mean by that is, hey, if you're extroverted or introverted or whatever the dynamics may be, if that person needs to be around people, let them be around people. And y'all can go on couples dates or have family nights or game nights. That doesn't mean it has to be 10 hours long. But you might have, hey, we're going to do an hour of this or an hour of that and balance out the times.
And set expectations.
And set expectations, exactly, of what you want it to be and what is a comfortable balance between you two. And then sometimes there might be some things that they do alone. For an example, for years and years, we always went grocery shopping together. Always. Like, we loved it. After we started having kids, like the first kid was River, and it was like, hey, you know, I'm gonna take care of the groceries because obviously you have to recoup and this and that. And I really missed being in the grocery store with Kiara because I'm extroverted and I'm like, oh, what do you think about this? Oh, you know, that's gonna be good when we. None of those conversations happen because FaceTime is not the same. It's just not.
It's not.
So, long story short, if you do have that need of being somewhere with your spouse or being with your family or friends, wherever the case may be, express that, talk about it, but also do it within respect and boundaries of what your priorities are. That doesn't mean you can go, you know, y'all out clubbing, you out with the guys, and your wife at home. Get your butt in the house. You know, oh, I'm going out with my girls. Get your butt in the house. So
you can have girls' night.
No, you can have girls' night, but I'm talking about agreed upon. I'm saying if the other spouse is not on that, hey, you can't just go and do all the stuff you used to do. You're married now, so y'all have to balance. You have to be in agreement on what you want to do.
Yes. And I would say, as an introvert, I enjoy my quiet time, my personal time. So I intentionally wake up before everyone else does to have that quiet time, to be by myself, to recharge. And so, you know, if you have a spouse that is introverted, you know, give them that space. Jared gives me that space, and you know, when River wakes up, he don't be stopping her, but it's not like he intrudes in the room when he knows I'm by myself with the Lord, I'm praying, or you know, I'm by myself. It's not like, oh, can you hurry up, can you do X, Y, and Z, because that just doesn't make, you know, good for the relationship. And likewise, when Jared like wants to hang out and be around people, sometimes I don't want to be around people, and it's like, babe, go enjoy yourself, because I know that's something that you enjoy, and you can go by yourself, because I'm not gonna be that. I don't want to be a bitter spouse that's like, can we go? Nobody likes that. But
now
also,
there are times where it's good to have that spouse like, hey, come on, come with me to this event,
and we will do that.
so come on with it. Like, cause she like, all right, it's time to go. I'm like, hey, I gotta go. But when I can roll out, I'm gonna roll out. But it's better to like set expectations. If you have an introverted spouse and you guys are going to an event together, you know, let them know that, hey, can we do this within a certain amount of time, to set the expectation, so they know that, okay, I can last for 2 hours, I can last for 3 hours, I can do this. And then the other person knows that, let me respect my spouse, you know, and I know that they're ready to go. And sometimes we be overstepping those boundaries, I ain't even gonna lie, but we try our best to respect. And then if it is a overstepping, like you said, because sometimes it's both sides, but sometimes it's like, man, this was so much fun, I ain't trying to go nowhere, let's just kick it. And then sometimes like, oh, let's leave right when we walk in, turn right back around. Hey, we gotta go. And we don't be doing that, but still. We don't. Have we ever did that? No. It was like,
we'll say up front, we not trying to be here all day, and then, you know, 2 hours later.
But we are selective. We are selective. If we know it's an environment or atmosphere where we don't get down with, we ain't even gonna go.
For sure. So that is that. This is a very long video, but I hope this is helping you. I think we
got one more point though. We ain't done yet.
Yes. So the last point, guys, is to take a personality test. So this is helpful for people who just really can't understand how their spouse thinks and how they go about certain things, and it's causing friction within your relationship. I think personality tests can give you more detail and insight as to how they are, why they do certain things, and maybe it'll help you to be, you know, more gracious, or help you in future situations.
And the thing is with that is, Kiara is a actual social worker, has a master's in social work, and I actually work with people socially, and I have my master's in working with people socially. So actually my doctorate, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting about that, in conversational engineering. So.
Nonetheless, for me, I am an Enneagram 5 wing D, and I'm also an ISFJ. If you guys haven't, you know, pick that up if you guys are interested in personalities. But Jared, on the other hand, he took it, he don't even remember.
Hey, look, I like wings. Give me 5. I'll give you a high 5. Ask Jay.
So I think when you know, honestly, this last point could be for those who aren't really interested in personality tests like Jared is really communicating with your spouse. Because a lot of the personality differences is just areas that you need to communicate about.
Right. And so my thing is, I have actually taken several Enneagram tests, but my thing is I don't walk around with a badge of, hey, this is my Enneagram, what's yours? It's like, no, I know that my Enneagram was right, and this is what you get when you deal with me, so just deal with me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, look, it is what it is. So
philosophy. That's
my philosophy. But with that, it also does help to have that for your spouse, especially if you want to go deeper than what they're saying up front. Because sometimes for me, it's like, if I have a question for Kiara, I'm like, hey, just give me the answer. I don't want to, like, if you don't know me by now, you'll never ever, hey, look, if you ain't told me by now, you ain't gonna never get it. That's where I'm at.
You're silly.
For real, like, think about it.
That's true.
Some people are just like, hey, now we have a dynamic where we're willing to talk to each other. But some people's like, no, I want them to ask me that special question. They don't know you have a special question.
Yes, you have to talk.
They don't know.
You have to communicate. And if you're trying to understand like how your spouse is, sometimes they go about life because of their childhood experiences. And how they were raised. So it's not that they're like this certain kind of way. It's just like that's all they know. So say if you you like to organize the pantry a certain way and they just throw things in there, it's not because they're dismissive. I like to organize it. She be doing stuff. No, I don't. We have a system in there that made it much better. But nonetheless, there are different things like with dishes. Oh my gosh, that's been like the newest area that we've been overcoming in with dishes. I'm very specific on how I like. We don't got to go into details. And you know what? I compromise in that because he wanted to have the dishes hand washed and then put into the dishwasher and dishwash as well. And to me, that just didn't make sense. But over the years, we did that until our dishwasher broke. But we still went about it the same way. So I compromised with you during that time. But some personality things, it's not that like if a person does allow the dishes to stack up or whatever, it's not because they're necessarily a nasty person, but maybe they weren't trained in their childhood to do these things and they never saw like a clean kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or never had a kitchen.
Or never had their own particular kitchen. And I have some of my cousins are very, very like detailed. Everything had to be spotless, but they were very disciplined and keeping things clean, and now it carried over into their personality. But it's really how they were raised. So it's pretty interesting. But nonetheless, give your spouse some grace. Love on them. This is the person that you chose. If you're not married, then you have options.
For real.
Exactly.
And act like you got options too until you choose your selection. But till then, you got options. That doesn't mean you taste everything you shop for.
Yeah, but you can get to know. We have a different philosophy on dating, and maybe, I don't know if that'll fit into this, but yeah, we have a different philosophy on dating, and it worked for us, and it worked for a lot of other people. Nonetheless, that is it for today, how to overcome personality differences.
That was a cliffhanger right there. You should. Nonetheless, if you need more information, reach out to us.
Let us know. And speaking of which, we actually have a new course coming out.
Yes, we do.
Yes, so we have a marriage course coming out, and it's going to be very soon, and if you're interested, go ahead and sign below. But basically, we're going to have live lessons with you guys. We're going to be meeting at the beginning of the week, having a live lesson, having assignments for the week, and then we're going to meet back up at the end of the week, probably on a Friday, to have a Q&A to check in and see how it went with your spouse. We're going to be incorporating the 101 date night ideas and why you should keep dating your spouse ebook that we created a couple months ago. That is going to be given to you guys if you don't have it. But if you are interested in that course, sign up below. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it's going to be lit.
Transformational. Like, if you want to refresh your marriage, if you want to just have spark again in your marriage, this is what you want to do. And you'll be around other couples who are trying to do the same thing.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun. So my biggest thing is invest in what's important to you. So if your marriage is important to you, hey, it's time to invest. And that doesn't mean that you have to do our program, but if you do need help, don't sit around like, oh man, I wish I had somebody that would be willing to pour into me and help me through this process, give me opportunity to ask questions and learn and develop with my spouse. That's exactly what this is, step by step through the process. And that's how we got to where we are. We have coaches, we have mentors, we have pastors that have literally paved the way for us to ask questions and have environments where we could be around other marriages and other couples. When they ask the questions like, you know, I never thought about asking that. I'm glad you asked that, because that sparked something in me that helps me remember and ask something that helps somebody else. So it's all about helping other people.
Amazing.
So if you need help, you want help is on the way.
We're here for you guys, and we're only accepting 10 couples because we want it to be intimate. We want it to be a safe space and a safe community. We don't want a whole bunch of people, and there is an application process because we only want people who are very serious about their marriage. We want people who understand that marriage, for us, we view marriage as a kingdom assignment in the kingdom of God. And so we go through the Bible and we use scripture in reference to how to overcome things in marriage. So if you're not comfortable with using scripture in your marriage, then this isn't the course for you. But that's why we have the application. We'll ask you a couple questions about your marriage and we'll let you know if you have been accepted and then what the next steps are. So I hope you guys really enjoyed this. More is to come, and give us suggestions on some other questions that you have for us as it pertains to marriage.
So that way we can have the questions ready for you for the course. And then also we're gonna have Q&As and stuff like that, like you said.
And we already got the course outlined.
Oh yeah, that's already done. But it's nice to have extra meat on the bone.
It's like, oh, what are you guys thinking? But that'll be the Q&A part too. If we miss anything, that's what the Q&A is for. So we love you guys, and we will see you all next week. Next week, Tuesday.
Hasta luego.
Hasta luego.
See you soon.